Today I have an SAT reading tip for you that deals with inference questions on the SAT reading section. So to illustrate my strategy for inference questions and the tip that I have for inference questions, I want to use question 3 from SAT Practice Test 5. Question 3 states that it can be reasonably inferred that Irma, the waitress, thinks Limey is through eating in line 37 because what? Well, for this tip, I want to talk about how for inference questions, you want to be able to support any answer that you choose with evidence. So any answer that is correct has to be supported by evidence in the text in order for it to be correct. Because if it wasn't supported by evidence in the text, it couldn't possibly be a correct answer since the SAT has to have an objective way to score these tests. Therefore, your answer has to have support from the text. So I see also I'm directed to line 37 for this one. So that's where I'm going to start, is I'm going to go to line 37. And when I'm answering these inference questions, I'm going to look for something that starts a little bit before that. So in this case, line 37, we see is going to be right where I'm underlining. I'm going to start at the beginning of that sentence so I know more context going into it. So I have when Limey put down his fork and began to count them off one by one on the fingers of his left hand, the waitress, whose name was Irma, thought he was through eating and tried to take his plate away. Okay, so my question it was asking me, and I'll go down and read it. It's asking me, why does the waitress think that Limey's through eating, basically, right? Why does Irma the waitress think Limey's through eating? Well, we see that the action that causes her to think he's through eating is him putting down his fork, right? That's our textual evidence to give us our answer there. He puts down his fork, and that indicates to the waitress that he must be through eating. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and answer that one. Our correct answer is going to be he's no longer holding his fork. Now, obviously, you don't have time to read this passage because this is going to be a short tip and trick video, but let's go ahead and cover why A, B, and D are all wrong and what you can learn from that for future inference questions that you may encounter on the SAT reading section. So option A, he has begun reading his book. Okay, in this passage, he has already been reading his book for a while before she tries to take his plate. So therefore, that answer cannot be correct. Okay, it can't be correct because it's not factually true. Also, even though he has been reading his book, he did not just begin to. Okay, so that is factually incorrect. Furthermore, since he's already been reading his book for a while, that would not indicate to her that he's just now through eating. All right, next option, his plate is empty. The passage at no point says that his plate is empty. So once again, that's going to be factually incorrect, right? At no point does it say his plate's empty. Furthermore, he tries to stop her from taking his plate in the lines that follow. I'll go ahead and show you that. We see he stopped her, right? I'll go ahead and circle that. He stopped her. Would he stop her if his plate was empty? No, he would let her take it because his plate is not empty, though. He wants to hold on to his plate. He does not want her to take it. Therefore, his plate is not empty, right? Nowhere does it say his plate is empty. Therefore, incorrect. Okay, option D, he has asked her to clear the table. Once again, that is not contained in the passage. Therefore, that is going to be wrong. Okay, he never asks her to clear the table. So the correct answer here is going to be C for this inference question. So the big tips with inference questions are to make sure you support your answer with evidence from the text. Now, sometimes with an inference question, the next question will be your answer to the question above can be supported by which of the following lines or something like that, where you have to find evidence to support it. Now, even if you're not prompted in the next question, which in this case you're not, to find the lines that support your answer, you should still understand where the support for your answer comes from. If you're going to answer an inference question, you should understand that it has to have support from the text. If it doesn't have support from the text, then you're probably answering it with the wrong answer. So hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and as always, have a great day.